bad girl and your friends bad too. Oh, you got the swag sauce, you drippin' swag goo. You a bad girl and your friends bad too. Oh, you got the swag sauce, you drippin' swag goo.
What's up, Disruptive Innovation? It's Ashley Tajay, Nikki, and Tosh. This is our first podcast, and the first topic that we're going to be talking about is Devon Franklin. Hope you enjoy it. We out.
I think there's a lot to dissect there. I mean, I definitely think there's a couple of things going on. Like his interview with the Breakfast Club. First of all, I thought was a really good interview.
Yes, second that.
I thought he brought a lot of light to some different ideals and ideas. Some of them I agree with. I got to be honest with you. Some of them I do think are problematic.
Okay.
And I think a lot of them come through an establishment. And I guess we'll definitely get into that. But that was just kind of my overview. But I like him. I respect him. Big ups to what he does for the community, for the spiritual community. Yes. I think he puts a lot of positivity out there. But I think he's got some good stuff to break down and chew on.
Definitely. I definitely. And I also feel like it's timely. His message is on time. For the simple fact is everything that's going on in the world, and especially in Hollywood, with these niggas just feeling like they can touch women, do whatever, and not be held accountable. So I feel like Pastor Franklin is coming in at the precise time to teach men how to really act and represent men and that species in the proper way, instead of accepting the fact that men are dogs, because not all men are dogs, not all men cheat, not all men are bad men.
Agreed.
You know, so if we can just teach the ones that just did not have that blueprint, never had anyone to teach them how to do it, and then they act accordingly and actually put the work into practice and become men that God called them to be, I think this world would be a little bit better than it is right now.
Also, I like that he's not coming as a pastor, though, because not everybody is into Christianity, religion, and not everybody's into
That's
God.
true.
You just gotta accept that. But true. I do like how he's also not only talking to men who don't know how to be a man, or men who just don't know what they're doing, but also talk to men who are good, but are still in this new era of, am I going to be faithful or am I not? Because he also talked about how he was with Megan. Everything was good. They waited until they got married to have sex. But then he was thinking about cheating on her after they got married. Right. So it's also not just to men who don't know how to be a man, but also to men who
have been good men.
Exactly.
And still have challenges. I like the fact that he does take a practical approach.
I agree.
Yeah, he definitely does. He takes a practical approach, and I think that's key, especially for those people who are spiritually minded. What I think that's very interesting is traditionally within the church, we've been taught a certain thing a certain way, and we don't really take practicality into consideration. I think there's a really interesting intersect there. So he's got some intersectionality going on.
Yes.
What I would like for, I think, another discussion, like a further discussion off of what's all right. So what happened with him? He was a good guy, whatever, what have you. He did it the right way. He had his own challenges. What about the people who didn't have that?
True.
Who didn't have that experience? And now I feel like, how does that affect us in 2019? 2019, you see all different types of things. We see poly, we see open relationships.
Yes.
We see all different types of things.
Yes,
I feel like
do.
women nowadays are more so the men, like forefronting cheating. We're out here more than the men are. And I think it's been created with what we've been allowed to deal with.
Exactly.
So I don't think it's a day late, dollar short. Like, I don't mean not to have any hope.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to see this dynamic of where we are, what's been created in women. I feel like women are the savages now. Women are now out here doing it.
And I think we
worse
should
than
be.
the dudes.
Yeah. See, and I agree with you on that one.
I think we should be.
You think we should be?
I think we should be savage. You gotta give these niggas what they give us.
Facts.
Because, like, listen, how you gonna take it? If we just let them continue to do whatever they want to do and let things slide, you want to cheat, I'm gonna cheat too.
Yeah, but then the cycle continues. The
It
cycle
does continue,
isn't broken though.
But you know how men always switch up when you treat them how they treat you.
That's true.
Not all men.
8 times out of 10.
8 times out of 10.
Yeah.
It is good though out of 10.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, we could try that, or we could acknowledge that men and women have a dog in them, and we have to learn how to tame that animal and train that animal, because just like having a real animal, if you let him run amok, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. So if we train them, they may veer off a little bit or challenge you a little bit, but when you get them back in line, animals tend to be obedient when they have that training and they know that there's a punishment if they step out of line. Just like men need to know. I love the metaphor that he used in comparing men to dogs. He's not saying men are dogs. He's just saying that dog mentality that men have and some women have. I just feel like in terms of really getting a handle on it so that there isn't so much sexual harassment, there isn't so many sexual acts of violence committed against women or even men.
No, I agree.
Okay? Because the situation that happens all too often, even in the workplace, even in a public place, it's out of control. Even in Hollywood, even in our own backyard, in our community, so many women have been assaulted and raped, and we don't know because they don't speak up. You know, and this is because men can't control what's inside of them. First of all, confront the beast and then get it under control. So I do commend Devon for doing what he's doing, and much respect. Like, and any way we can help, we should.
No, I agree. I definitely
Yeah,
agree.
to keep the conversation going.
So what do you think a woman can do to help?
What do I think a woman can do to help? First of all, don't accept the bullshit. Straight up and down. If you are in a relationship with a man who has a problem taming that dog that's inside of him, do not accept it and stay around and just say, you know what, I'm going to stay by him because this is my man, this, that, and the third. No, if you are being mistreated, you need to remove yourself from that situation. So if the man is not going to be faithful to you, then you need to remove yourself. Love is not enough to stay in a relationship, period. Respect needs to be had on both parts. So if I'm keeping in its pants, then you need to do the same. And if you have a problem, then let's address that problem so we can get you some help. But if you don't want help,
do you stick around during that time? Like, idealistically, are you sticking around during that time? Let's say your spouse or your significant other admits the fact that, listen, I have a problem. Is that something that we want you to work out in your singleness and then maybe we get back? Or is that something that you think somebody should stick around with? Because I know what I think.
okay. And all right, so then I want you to tell me what you think right after I tell you what I think. I believe that you should stay. I do believe that if your spouse, significant other acknowledges to you that he has a problem and he wants to change, I believe you should stay because you are that beacon of hope for him. You are his shoulder to lean on. You are his ride or die. But if you're in a situation where he knows he's doing wrong and is not willing to change, then you have to remove yourself.
Okay, Nikki, what you think?
I mean, and see, this is a big conflict within me, and I think maybe the listeners will kind of pick up character-wise, like where all of us are. Like if we were meat, I'd probably be like 60% lean, 40% fat. You know what I'm saying? Like 60% word, 40% world. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm in the middle.
Okay, 50.
Oh my
Tom over here is gonna be our holy roller, and I know a lot of you may think, well, they ain't no 50-50 with God, but listen, just trying to understand what we're trying to say.
Yes.
So I have this conflict within myself because I think sometimes, hypothetically to me, that sounds good, but I think the church normalizes abuse in relationships.
I so agree.
To me, that's abuse. Why would you put yourself in a situation where you're being abused by somebody, you're not being respected, you're not being loved, you're not being cherished? listen, I think it's great that you can admit that you got a problem, but do I need to stick around in your process and be a constant punching bag? I don't know if I agree with that. I believe this whole self-love thing is not talked about enough in church and for our women. True. I feel like women are not taught to love themselves enough and value ourselves enough.
Exactly.
When do we get to be precious? When do we get to have that standpoint? I don't know. I feel like women ain't valued enough. But you know what? I may be on my new wave. I may be on my 2019 wave. I don't know.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying stay there if... What I'm saying is... I'm not saying stay there come hell or high water. What I'm saying is, if he's acknowledging and he's willing to change, willing to take the necessary steps to change, I don't feel like you kick a nigga when they down. I feel like if it's your boo, if it's somebody that you're choosing to spend the rest of your life with, and you want to be with that person, and he's acknowledging that he has a problem, yes, stay with him if that's what you want to do. But if you don't want to do that, ultimately it's the woman's decision. The ball is in your court. The infidelity has been played on you. So therefore, you have the ultimate decision to make. Do you want to be with someone who has been unfaithful to you? Okay, cool. That's on you.
So let me ask you.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you all this. Is infidelity a deal breaker?
It depends on the situation.
It truly does. Okay. I agree with her.
I think it depends on the situation.
Give an example, though. Ash, give an example.
Right, so, to me, I feel like if a man cheats, it depends on the reason why they're cheating.
Okay.
How many times they've cheated.
Okay.
And what was going on in our relationship for you to cheat.
Okay.
So if you just out here cheating because you just like, listen, I'm just doing it because it's fun. I just want to know if I got it. Nigga, we not doing that. Because then if you doing it, I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main thing. But if we're doing it because I'm not, I don't want to say this without saying, like, if I'm not living up to my wifely or girlfriend duties.
I understand.
If you do it without communicating with me about how I'm treating you, then I'm out.
Yeah.
But if you communicate to me and tell me, like, listen, you don't give me this, you don't give me enough love, you don't give me enough time, attention, affection, nothing like that, and then you go out and cheat.
And you don't change. It's
and
not
I don't
just
change,
you tell me.
But you told me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to either have to take that L and we're going to have to work on it, and I'm going to change and you change, or I'm dipping.
And I agree.
But it has to be
communicated thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It has to be communicated, and it can't be like a one-way street. It got to be two ways.
Of course.
We got to have that communication.
I completely concur. My thing is, if you've acknowledged to me that you are feeling like you're in a relationship that is one-sided and I don't do anything to change, that's not permission. But I can understand
the human
why.
Condition.
Exactly.
You can understand the human condition in the scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you communicated to me that you are unhappy and I take the necessary steps to make you feel whole, and then you still go out and do some bullshit, I'm whooping your ass. I'm whooping the bitch's ass. Mom. Yeah, we're getting a fucking divorce, nigga.
And your mom.
And the moms that made
and
you.
your
mom. Like, because it's like either you want it, and that whole saying, we had a conversation about this off the record, about the saying, having your cake and eating it too.
Facts.
Have a huge thing with that, because if you have a slice of cake, your job is to eat it. That's what you're supposed to do. If someone gives you a slice of cake and says, here, happy birthday, Nick. Happy birthday. What the fuck are you supposed to do? I'm just going to drink the coffee.
No. Let me break it down.
Okay, so break it down, please.
This is your first DI lesson with Knowledge with Nikki. Let me put it into perspective for everybody who doesn't know.
Welcome.
For anybody that's ever been perplexed by the saying, have your cake and eat it too, what you've done is you've missed the point.
Okay.
Having your cake and eat it too is a simple possession question.
Okay.
So if you have your cake, have you eaten it? If you eat your cake, do you have it anymore? No. You have to choose if you're going to possess and have your cake or if you're going to eat it. But you can't have two at the same time. You're either eating your cake or you're going to hold on to it. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. Bam!
You learn something new every day.
That's a gem.
Truly,
That's a gem.
truly.
Write that down.
You
Write that
learn
down.
something new
That's a
every
gem.
day when you choose to learn. Because I did not break that down in that way.
Yeah.
I just looked at it simply. Okay, if you have cake, are you not supposed to eat it? Or okay, but I understand.
It's a decision.
Yes.
It's what we rocking with. We doing this or we not?
Exactly.
You can't have it and eat it at the same time. You got to make a decision.
Got you. Wow, that was one for the books.
That's it.
Yeah, that was good. That was good stuff.
So now I want to talk about too. What do we think about marriages that are not only the husband, the wife, and God, but the husband, the wife, the God, and the pastor?
Ooh.
I definitely want to talk about this. Because to me, I feel like if your relationship is not between you, the person you're in a relationship with, and Jesus Christ, it's going to fail.
Listen, I'm all for mentors. You know what I mean? I'm all for people making themselves a better version of themselves.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody can go through that process on their own. And I'm not just saying, you need to have a firm foundation in Christ and God or whatever it is that you choose to follow. You need to have your feet firmly founded in whatever you feel like you're rooted in. But I think people are here to help you with that process. So I'm all for mentors. But a mentor should never, ever sit in the place that your spouse should be in or that your God should be in. Exactly. You need to be able to have that relationship one-on-one. I think pastors overstep a lot of times.
Facts.
And I think it's unhealthy. And in that particular scenario, I think that person has become an idol. And that's just going to drive a wedge between your true self. Because here's the thing. We're supposed to be rooted in truth. But you're not going to get to truth until you understand your truth first. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with you finding your truth. Mm-hmm. And if your truth is 100% broken, find that first. Mm-hmm. And when you get to truth, you can make that reconciliation. But until you get there, if you got static in between it, and that static is a person, a pastor, whatever, it's not, it ain't going to work.
And I agree. And I also, too, believe, although I have given advice in the past, I also too believe that a single person should not advise a married couple.
I agree.
And vice versa.
Okay.
My thing is, I can say, oh, this is what I would do, but to tell you how to operate as a married woman and I'm single, I don't know your struggles. Being married is a different arena.
Gotcha.
Okay? Being single is a different arena. As a single woman, I can do and say
whatever you want.
Whatever I want. Being married, you have to take your spouse's everything that involves him into consideration. You can't just get up and say, yo, I'm going to Vegas. Yo, we going to Vegas? Yeah, I'm going to Vegas. Did you run that by your husband? There's certain things single women can do versus what married women can do. Or married women can do the same things, but they still have to get permission.
Yes.
There's a twofold situation in that. And I feel like when you have someone ministering to you or advising you, especially a single someone to a married couple, that to me seems like a recipe for disaster. I feel like married couples should advise married couples and single couples should advise single couples. Now, are there pastors and clergymen that are married? Yes. So then those couples should seek counsel from a married clergyman. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I just feel like it doesn't matter. Priests, they don't get married.
Yeah, priests don't get married.
I understand that. Well, then you shouldn't be in the arena of advice.
They shouldn't be giving nobody advice.
Exactly.
I mean, boom, unpopular opinion.
Exactly. So that's my opinion on that. What's your take on it, Ash?
I agree.
Okay.
I really think it needs to be about you, the person you're with, and God. That's it.
Yeah.
No outside, nothing. But I do think you can take advice from a single person, but only when it comes to like serious stuff like abuse.
Of course.
Like any form of abuse though.
Yes.
Not just punching you out, like verbally abusive,
Yes.
sexually,
Talk about it.
Yeah.
emotional.
That's true.
Like that
That's
all
true.
has to come into aspect, and I feel like you can take that advice from anybody. You know right from
I
wrong.
agree.
And
But
sometimes everybody doesn't have common sense.
Yes.
So a single person might have that common sense and let you know, sis, this ain't it.
speak on that.
Like, come on.
And I understand what you're saying, and I truly do agree with you. But if it's something like, you know what, girl, I am so tired of him leaving his boxers in the bathroom as he gets out of the shower and just leave them there expecting for me to pick it up. And me as a single person say, girl, just leave them there. I wouldn't get him up. Fuck that. No. That's your husband. All right, I'm going to get him up because I am your wife. But if you think for a second I'm not going to fucking tell you, nigga, I'm not your mother. I'm your wife.
Okay.
Pick up after yourself or them shits are going to stay there from this point on.
That's why I feel like it depends on what advice you give.
Yes.
Because I think you can ask anybody that information. What you just gave her wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to control your marriage. I'm just letting you know, like, girl, let him know. Like, I don't think that, girl, I ain't taking that advice because she not married.
Got you.
It's it's common sense.
You just have to be cautious about counsel from...
I think you make a good point about common sense because I think we get away from common sense a lot of times. And I think I know so many people that are in situations that common sense tells you that's unhealthy. And I think you bring up a really good point about the different forms of abuse. I think specifically, especially when you're talking about the church, right? Because if you guys can't tell, I mean, we obviously come from a very church background, a spiritual background.
Yes.
So that's in our background. For a lot of us, that's our foundation.
Yes.
You know, so that's what we have to build on. And as we get older, we may agree with some of the things that we were raised with. And now, in our adulthood, a lot of us are confronting a lot of stuff we don't agree with.
Exactly.
And so now we're unlearning all of the stuff that we were taught, and we're trying to find where is this truth. So for Ashley's point, you got physical abuse, you got emotional abuse, you got mental abuse, you have sexual abuse. Do we hear anything spoke in the church of anything other than physical abuse? No. Most of the time we hear if he is not physically beating you, if she's not physically assaulting you, you're supposed to stick around. And I do not agree with that.
A lie from the pit of hell.
Facts.
And you know,
we're not doing that.
What?
We're not.
And we don't talk about mental health and emotional health in communities of color enough. There's so many people who suffer mental and emotional issues. Depression
anxiety.
is running rampant. Where's this coming from?
It is.
Right?
Really
Where's
it
this
is.
coming from?
Jesus.
Come on now. It's
Like,
because we don't address it.
That's true. Like I was saying, me and Taj were having a conversation, and I was saying to her that I read a tweet that said if you think that someone smokes weed 24/7 to be in a different mental space is not a sign of depression,
Come on,
you're
now.
bugging.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. A person who always wants to drink. Now it's not a person that's like, it's Friday, we lit for the weekend, you know, where the Henny at. No, that's not a problem. But for it to be a situation of every single day or all the time, you're thinking, yo, I need a drink. I need to smoke. I need to go shopping. I need to do that. That's a sign of like anxiety, a sign of like you're depressed. Why can't you be in a normal state and be okay with that?
Trying to escape their problems.
It's
just
that
trying to escaping their
Our
problems.
boy Tony Robbins talks all the time about being able to change your state. Right? And that if we're in control, we have a healthy mental and emotional state, we know how to master the different states that we're in to move about this world. And when I think we're confronted with so much trauma in different forms, a lot of us, myself included, at times have gone through phases where I want to change my state. And the easiest thing to do that is to put something in me to do it for me.
Got you. Instead of confronting and also too, not seeking the proper help. Like those are just, what word am I trying to find for it? I just feel like those are, if you guys can help me out, it's like a crutch. It's not really fixing the problem. You know what I mean? And to fix the problem, but then in our world, in a black person's world, seeking help with therapy is not what black people do. We go to church.
That's white people shit.
Exactly. No. But we have to really disconnect ourselves from that lie, because that's a lie.
That's a big lie.
You can't use a substance as a crutch. You need to get help and get down to the core of why you're feeling this way. And then there are some exercises that you can do to get yourself out of it. But if we stay in it and continue to use substances to mask that or to help us get through, we're never going to live up to our fullest potential. Never, ever. And we all need to speak to somebody. Whether you're a multi-billionaire and you think you have no problems, you can still be in a state of depression. You can have everything you want and still feel inadequate. To a person who is young and a product of their environment, feels like they want to do more, but feel like something's holding them back. Everyone can use therapy. Everyone can sit down in an unbiased situation and speak to someone who is trained, a trained professional that can help you really talk out your issues, talk out things, and use certain ways to get yourself to a better state of mind. So I feel like once we get past that, where it's just BS, and really understand that we all need help. We all need help. Because not everyone has the fortunate ability to have family and friends who really love them and care for them, who check on them.
That's true.
That's
like a lot of people don't have that.
Don't have that. That's real.
And then when you have it, you're fortunate. You are blessed.
Exactly. And that's why it's good to always check on your friends or people that you care about, and not only check on them when you need something. Actually check on them just to make sure that their mental state is good. It don't even got to be a call. You don't have to call me to check on me. You can send a text message. You know,
that is so.
Because some people are like, I don't want to talk on the phone. That's fine. Hey, you good? I care about you. I love you.
2 words. You good?
That's even real. It's so simple.
Yeah.
You could even do it through Instagram. You can send me a DM. It doesn't have to be, let me FaceTime you and talk to you for 8 hours. Nah. If that's our thing, we gonna do it. If it's not, you can just hit me up and be like, listen, I hope you're good. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Because we need it. We need
it.
We need it. This world is cold, man.
You don't know what somebody's going through.
Yeah.
You don't. I felt like last night I reached out to somebody I don't even like. Not that I don't like you, but we don't really rock like that.
Got you.
But it was like, you crossed my mind.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Yep.
I hope you're good.
Yep.
Super, super simple.
Yep.
Let's just keep it simple.
Yep.
Because you just don't know.
And that probably changed that person's day.
Or their life.
Yeah. Or their
exactly.
weekend.
It does make a difference.
And
the thing is because we are so blessed, we should pay it forward.
Exactly.
You know?
Mm-hmm. But then that also goes into religion versus relationship.
Ooh. Hit him, Ashley.
This is just for me. I think religion is BS. Period.
Okay.
I feel like going to church every Sunday, your pastor up there preaching to you false tales and teaching you stuff that they're not following is hypocrisy. That's why I don't agree with Christianity.
Okay.
I don't. Okay. I don't believe in being a Christian. I'm not a Christian. I know God. I have a relationship with God. Yeah. But I feel like that whole aspect of just like the hypocrisy, I think that's why so many people have a problem with Christianity. So what do you think about that?
I mean...
So how do you identify first? I mean, we know Ash doesn't identify as a Christian, and I think that's fair. Like, how do you self-identify?
Oh, I am a Christian. I believe in Christ. I believe that God sent Christ in human form, okay, to show us the way. He died on the first day, rose on the third. I do believe in God with all of my heart. I love Jesus. I'm grateful that he did come, that he knew what was going to happen to him and he did not turn away, that he reconciled me back to God in my proper place, and I love the Lord with all of my heart.
But see, that's how I feel. So I'm not talking about like I don't believe in Christ.
I understand.
I'm talking about the religion part.
Now,
in the church.
Okay, so I will jump back to that. But at the same time, the church times and what goes on in the church, I am fed up. I do agree. And I think I've tried to ignore my feelings for a long time and still press. But then I finally felt like, you know what? It's time to really confront what's going on in the church. And there are a lot of things that I don't like about the church, but there are a lot of things that I don't like about damn near everything.
Yeah, that's real though.
So I feel like that doesn't give me a reason to not, or to bash the church in any way. I want to help. You know what I'm saying? But
it's not bashing the church. No, this is my thing. It's not bashing the church by talking about the craziness that goes on in the church. What is a church for? A church is not it's not a worldly place. So if you're in the world, you expect worldly things from the world. You don't expect worldly things from the church. You expect for a nigga that don't know God to not treat you like, what is the scripture? 1 Corinthians 13, 4, 5, love is patient, love is kind. You don't expect that from a regular nigga on the street. But you expect that from church. And church doesn't give that. Love is patient, love is kind. Church is not always patient, they're not always kind. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? The church can be envious. The church gets cliquey. Ooh, and that happens in not just black churches, but black churches, white churches, church period. Yeah.
But hold on, Nick, but I need for you to chime in, though, because please remind me, though. Remind me that folks that go into the church are indeed human, and we all fall short of the glory of God, don't we?
I mean, yes, understood. I think there's a couple of things going on, because I agree with my little sister over here, my niece.
Okay.
But at the same time, I agree with you, because yes, I think what we need to understand is, number one, I think personally there's something wrong with the establishment. And I think most people that are in the establishment are more concerned with dealing with the establishment as opposed to dealing with their relationship. If you come in here on some relationship-ish, you're going to be more focused on what is the spirit doing in you. But at the same time, I definitely think, we all people. You may catch us on a crazy day.
Yes.
We may not be there. You don't know what I'm battling in my personal life. So I think it's definitely important to have a well-rounded understanding. And two, let's keep it funky. Let's keep a little self-accountability in there. We ain't going to the church to get filled. So if you're going in there on that type of mentality, you're going to be extra hurt if the reality doesn't match up with your expectation. And what I understand church's purpose to be, two things. You go to church to fellowship. Okay, so there's got to be some level of relationship there.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
of course.
That to me is one thing on itself. Like, we just need to work on relationship as a whole. Exactly. You go into so many churches, ain't no type of relationship. Exactly. They worry too much about God knows what, but relationship is just void. Yeah. Second thing you go to church for is to serve.
Yes.
If you ain't, and a lot of us ain't really out there serving.
No, we're not.
So I think we got to redefine what we're going there for. What is the purpose?
Yes. True.
Will also help us reset that expectation.
I agree with that. And I also think too is that we definitely go to church to serve, but if you go to church and your whole entire life is thrown to doing things that you don't want to do, which is serving by, on Friday I gotta do this, Saturday I gotta do this, Sunday I gotta do this, Monday I gotta do this. That is not okay.
I'm with you.
That is not okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. There has to be a balance.
There has to be a balance.
There has to be a balance, and also too,
it's got to line up with your vision.
And I was about to say that you have to want to do it. You can't do it because someone asked you to do it. That's when we seek Christ.
Yes.
And ask him, is this where you position me to be? And if you don't, then you have to be upfront with whoever is running it, whether it be your pastor or the elders, and just let them know. Sometimes we feel we do so many things, and okay, I don't want to speak for anyone else. I'm going to just speak for myself. I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of things that are obligation. Not because I was led. Because I felt obligated to, because when someone's in your face and saying, oh, we really need you to do this, and and it's like, I know I don't really want to do it,
but I'm going to do it.
But I'm going to do it. But I'm not doing it with a grateful heart. And I'm not doing it with a happy heart.
And why you think they're always forcing you to do it? They're not forcing you to do it, I think, because, Tasha's just so good with kids. They want to keep you away from sinning. I think that's why they keep you so busy.
Ooh,
if you're so busy, you ain't gonna have no facts. If you're so busy, you ain't gonna have no time to sin, because you're gonna be so drained and so tired. By the time you get home, all you're gonna want to do is sleep.
Girl, you know what's crazy? I actually heard a pastor say that.
Wow.
No, dead ass. Like, and I love this pastor. This pastor probably one of, like, if I were to say, yo, this person right here, I don't want to be behind you in heaven. I honor you, but I've literally heard pastors say, I keep my people busy, so they go home dead ass tired.
Wow.
You don't got no time to sin.
See, but a nigga like me, I can multitask like a motherfucker.
You can multitask.
So I still do serve and do my dirt. Listen, this is me. This is me.
That's true.
You know, unapologetically, like, this is, I'm a real nigga, like, and I love God.
But when you were heavy in the church, you ain't had time to sin, sis. Even though you were good at multitasking, you had no time for nothing but church. It was annoying. That's why I didn't like church.
Disclaimer.
I was like, my nigga, like, when are we going home? Like,
Yeah, but you know what?
I'm trying to go home, trying to chill. Like,
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, but I think the goal. But my thing is that may be true, and that could be a pastor's goal. But I can recall maybe not every night me sinning because I was so busy, but I still got it in.
Yeah, I feel you.
So I feel like if that's your intent, whether they keep you busy or not. I'm not busy 24 hours a day. Mm-hmm. I may be busy 8 to 12 out of those 24 hours, but I can still lump in an hour to sin. Mm-hmm. If you're going to sin, if your goal is to do that and your flesh is rising up, by any means you will do it.
And I get, some of the mentality, action produces something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if you keep your people active, it's gonna produce something. But
Yeah.
I definitely think, like, even just with serving in general, we don't teach people enough self-love and self-care.
yes.
Like, get in touch with who are you? What do you like to do? Does this line up with what you want to do? Like, it's okay to enjoy yourself. That's not the flesh.
Exactly.
I can't stand that. Like, we have identified, I think, the flesh with so many things. You got so many miserable people walking around because I think we've attached the flesh falsely to a lot of things. It's good to love yourself. It's good to enjoy yourself. It's good to have a strong sense of self.
Yes.
So that when you do go out, you're going out joyful in whatever you do. And if it doesn't line up with you, don't do it.
Exactly.
Don't do it.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Like, we don't teach relationship because we don't teach relationship with self.
We
How
don't.
can we have relationship with other people when you don't even know yourself, not one iota?
Exactly.
It's craziness out here.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't agree with it.
Yep.
So how do I identify? I definitely identify as someone who has been given God's grace. I'm always thankful.
Yes, Lord.
God got me, and I always know that. But I do not agree with a lot of the things that we see in traditional religion.
Yes.
And that's even folks who claim to be non-denominational. I found myself very attracted to very different things. Yes. That doesn't mean that I'm veering away from the truth, but I feel like you got to be well-rounded to really understand.
Yes.
Even what that book is talking about.
Exactly. And that's true because there's so much in that book. And then the book was written by so many different people. How do we know that those people know? Period. See, it's shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? That that's why my relationship with Christ is the most important to me.
Exactly. So agreed. Relationship or religion?
Relationship or religion?
100% relationship.
Facts, and I agree. Relationship.
Yeah, relationship all day.
Religion, we need to,
we need to ban religion because religion comes with too many stipulations.
It does, and it's like you're not accepting me as me. You understand what I'm saying? Like oh no, they listen to world. Oh, we don't listen to worldly.
Yeah, because that was the issue.
We don't watch reality TV. All right, but reality TV is reality. They're living in their truth. Yeah. Granted, that might not be for you, but they're living in their truth. You're not living in your truth because you're going through, all right, well, the book says I got to have sex with my man this amount of times. I got to cook for him every single day. I got to do this. I can't listen to rap music. I can't listen to R&B music. But I'm a big fan of Beyonce and Jay-Z. And although I had the money to go to this concert, I'm not going to go because of religion. You're not living in your truth. And then once you're on your deathbed or it comes to your last days or you're old, you're going to be thinking like, man, I ain't do nothing to give my whole life to the church. And what they give me back?
And that's not what the Bible says. The Bible doesn't say, listening to worldly music, you're going to go to hell.
No.
Listening to or hanging out with worldly people, you're going to go to hell.
But religion teaches you that.
Religion does.
Teaches you that.
But not Christ's relationship doesn't
but that's
teach you
what I'm
that.
saying. That's why it's the difference between relationship and religion. Because church will teach you that. You going to that? Well, we going to have the Christian thing, but I'm really not into Christian music. Oh, but that's what we do. Okay, but I'm not doing it. And then it's like, oh, wow, your people, like the little slick comment, oh, your people, or, oh, they do this, and they, what is that?
You guys.
We don't do that. Oh, no, we don't listen to that. We don't listen to, all right, but I don't listen to Christian music 24/7.
There's communities within communities, if you didn't know.
Exactly.
Literally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So definitely relationship over religion.
Definitely.
Yeah, I like that topic.
Yeah,
that was a great
I
topic.
like that topic. Yeah. So then next, the Grammys. Did we watch the Grammys?
No.
We gonna get a little. I saw a little bit. I know Ashley probably saw it all.
I actually fell asleep.
What?
Which is the crazy.
But they were boring.
To me, very boring.
All right.
I fell asleep after they cut off Drake.
Yeah, that was I did catch a piece of that, and I was yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, why do we even entertain it? If we don't show up, they don't have a show.
Period.
Because right now, we're it.
Okay.
And we've been it for so long. Us. Black folk. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. We've been it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they know this to be true. Don't do us a favor and include us if you're really gonna include us just to exclude us.
Wait, I'm confused. I must have missed something. With
okay,
Grammys.
so
no,
with Drake. So Drake won the award, and he was actually speaking very on a positive note, just encouraging folks who are starting businesses, are wanting that recognition but never receiving it. He just wanted to let them know that what you're doing, I see you. You got to keep going. You don't need recognition from the Grammys. You don't need recognition from SAG, the Emmys, whomever.
He didn't even get that far though. As soon as he said Grammys,
they cut him.
Cut him off. And then he won Best Rap Song, and they cut him off. As soon as he said, "Yo, these Grammys, this don't mean." Music came on, and I think it went to a commercial.
Yep, cut to a commercial.
You can't challenge the establishment in the establishment like that.
No, you should. Though.
I think you should.
You're right, but I'm just saying.
And I understand why. No, and I understood why they
Yo.
did that. But my thing is, if you can't speak your mind and say what you want to say, he didn't go over his allotted time.
No, he did not.
They usually give you 2 minutes. He was 30 seconds in.
And they tried to say, "Oh, he had a long pause." He had no pause.
And this is what I'm saying.
What was a long pause? He never paused.
But if we continue to accept it, wanting to be a part of organizations like that who really don't give a damn about us.
Yeah, the dominant.
And they know that there's strength in numbers with us.
Yeah.
Because we're popular. Do you understand what I'm saying? 100%. So they
100%.
want to include us, but then exclude us at the same time. We gotta say enough is enough. I don't need your. That's why big ups to J and B. We know this is bullshit. I don't have to go. I wanted it when I was younger, when I didn't know any better. Now I know how the game is played.
Yep.
I don't have to be accepted.
Ownership.
Yes.
Ownership.
And living in your truth and doing what you want to do and not doing what everybody else think is right. You got to do what you think is right.
That's real.
You gotta live for yourself.
Very real.
I mean, you gotta not only live for yourself, but you really have to take your emotions, your mindset, your everything, your patience, your time. You have to come first. You cannot always think about everybody first. You have to think about yourself. You got to be selfish for everything. I'm sorry. Not everything, but I'm saying when it comes to when it's not selfish in like in life, but like selfish when it comes to your mindset, you have to be selfish about that. I'm sorry.
Of course, protect yourself. No. I understand.
What's going on in your head?
I do.
Not selfish as in like, oh, these niggas ain't giving me no award. I'm never going again. Like, calm down. That's being selfish, and that's not thinking in a negative sense.
I think you gotta redefine that
exactly.
a little bit. Yeah, no, I agree.
When it comes to your mindset, I feel like that you got
guard your heart. I mean, that's what the word says. Seriously. I mean, and guarding your heart means your mind as well. I mean, yes, you can't just let anyone project anything onto you or tell you who you are or tell you what you're gonna do. Listen, we did that shit.
And we ain't doing that.
Okay, we did that. And we're done with that. And we're not fucking going back to that.
Period.
Okay?
Like that worked out.
Yeah. Exactly. So I do agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, being selfish, just in other ways, I feel like you can't make someone acknowledge you. You can't make someone like you. You can't make someone include you. So if there's no lane for you, create your own lane.
I agree.
You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, BET, we have us. Make that shit Grammy-like. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that too, but BET they're the same. After Cardi, which congratulations to Cardi for winning Best Rap Album.
Yes!
Definitely, she deserved it. But they had made a tweet about Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj getting dragged by her way because Cardi is the first female to win Best Rap Album at the Grammys.
That was foul.
That's foul. But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Black entertainment TV, you're made for us, and then you want to tear us down. Nicki Minaj, whether it's Nicki Minaj against Cardi, I choose to not choose. But you cannot discredit Nicki Minaj. Like, she did not create the lane for all of these chicks because there was no art, there was no hip hop by a female that whole time. Lil' Kim is from the 90s. Missy's from the 90s, early 2000s. Remy Ma came out with maybe one hot album and went to jail. So since you did not create an album for it, an avenue for it, a lane for it. Nicki Minaj created that lane. I feel like if there was no Nicki Minaj, obviously if there was no Lil' Kim, there would have been no Nicki Minaj. But if there was no Nicki Minaj, there would have been no Cardi. Niggas would not accept it.
I mean, I agree with you a little bit, Ash, but I don't agree 100%. And I just think that's the age difference.
I totally fucking agree.
I think that's the age difference.
For the simple fact is, if you check the history, if you go back as far as you can go back, do you understand what I'm saying? As early as I can remember, Queen Latifah, she paved the way. But then there was somebody that came before her. Yeah. And then so after her, I think in this industry, exactly. Yo-Yo, all of them. All right, listen, Eve, all of them. Yes. Okay, but what I feel like is because the hip-hop industry is so male-dominated that the women get a window. At X amount of years, where you're the hottest thing on the market. Yes. Everybody wants to rock with you, okay? But then when your time is up,
it's up, baby.
Your time is up. What it is, and what I feel like Nicki Minaj it just doesn't sit well with her spirit, and I'm not saying it should. Your time is up, boo. Now it's Cardi. But before long, Cardi's time is going to be up. No one, not one hip-hop female artist has gone for 30, 40 years being number one. No hip-hop artist has ever gone.
Yeah, no.
Even 20 years.
I agree with that. But I also think, too, I don't think it's the sense of your time being up. I think it's just you just not doing no more. Queen Latifah did it, and then she went on to movies.
Yes, because she knew her time was up. You don't want to put your eggs all in one basket. You got to spread that shit out because that music shit was getting corny. Niggas was bootlegging everything, so they weren't making money. Exactly.
But I also think that I don't think it's that their time is up. I don't think Nicki Minaj has to be trash for Cardi to be popping. I think they both can win. Obviously, two people can't have number one. Yeah. But you could still be coming out with good music. Cardi could still be coming out with good music, and there could be 100 other female rappers coming out with good music, and it's not gonna stop nobody's bag. I think that's the problem. Where we're all in. No, there has to be one, because if Jay-Z came out with an album tomorrow, niggas is not gonna be talking about J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Lil Wayne's album or none of that. We're gonna be talking about Jay-Z, and he's not relevant right now in music. He's relevant in I got $1 billion, but he's not relevant in I'm the hottest rapper right now. He's not even on that type of time though. He had his time, but what I'm trying to say is that, but it's still longevity though. Yeah. Because if he came out with an album tomorrow, I guarantee he was going to number one. Yes. Now they're gonna try any and everything to do for it to not get there, but it's still gonna go there. So it's just longevity. I feel like Nicki Minaj has that longevity.
She definitely does. I feel like you can't take that from her.
Yes.
How long she been popping? So I think you talking about two things, but they overlap. Yes. You're gonna have a window where you're going to be super hot popping.
Yes. Exactly.
And I think has she made that stretch? 100%. We gotta give her a hat.
Yes!
I feel like she has really done that consecutively.
I agree.
But just like you have the greats like Jay and whomever else you're gonna put in your greats or your top 5, whatever the case may be, you're still going to perform at a high elite level. Yes. You may not be putting out new tracks all the time at hot records every single month, year, whatever, but when you do, you're still in that upper echelon. And I feel like she's elevated herself into that upper echelon.
Agreed.
Yeah, but what I feel like is that she feels like it has to be me and only me.
But is that her thinking that, or is that other people putting stuff into her
I don't know.
mindset, making her
Well,
think that?
well, from what I see, so then I will retract.
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
Others
I'm
may
just
feel like you know what? There can only be one, and now she's not it. So is she taking offense to it? We can clearly see she is.
Yeah.
Taking offense to it. Can we not?
No,
In her
definitely.
social media
But then when
feeds.
you see
Okay.
a tweet like that, like she getting dragged by her wig because Cardi went.
Yeah, that don't respect that.
No, they overstep that. But then here comes the question: do they do that because they know it's gonna bother her? What if they knew if there was nothing between them and nobody thought anything about Nicki Minaj feeling no type of way towards Cardi? Would that even come into play?
See, but I think, is that what started it though?
Did they create it?
I think so. I truly.
Or do they know that this is gonna get some headlines? It's gonna be popping because we
Facts.
know how Nicki moves. So we're gonna go ahead and provoke her a little bit. I don't know.
That's what I'm
Everybody
saying.
says Nicki moves like that.
Yeah.
Remy said it. Cardi's basically said it. Everybody has
Yeah.
said that this is Nicki's mentality.
And that's what I'm saying. So my thing is, she's a beast, and sometimes the beast is asleep, but then you poke it, and then it reacts.
But I think it also goes back to when Nicki first came out. Little Kim was on some like, she ain't saying my name. She taking all my poses. She take out, the colorful wigs. I started that. Like, all right, just because you started it and I'm inspired by it doesn't mean I have to come out and be on your body. Like, Little Kim is the best. If I don't think that, I don't think that, and I'm not saying it. So Nicki Minaj does not have to come out and say, yo, Cardi is lit. She might not think that, and it's okay. But I think that's the problem with the world and the industry. When somebody else comes out, like they expect for Jay-Z to always say something about other rappers. Yeah, 21 Savage, he doesn't have to do that. If he don't like their music, he don't have to say it.
Exactly. Because to me, it's not music, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that'll be another episode.
Yeah.
But but still, I don't think so.
But what about keeping that same energy? Like, you ain't got to endorse something you don't want to endorse, but do you have to, if that's the case, keep the same energy and don't say nothing if you don't like it. Exactly. If you ain't going to put the energy out there to encourage something, don't put the energy out there to discourage something.
Agreed.
If you're not going out of your way because you think it's trash, then that's fine. Keep it right there.
Exactly.
Keep it to yourself.
Exactly.
Yes. But if you're really out here trying to stop people from doing well, then I feel like you do feel like it's good and you're threatened by it. So I feel like you got to keep that same energy. Be consistent at least.
Yes, be consistent. Definitely be consistent.
Consistency is key, and to me, it doesn't seem like it's consistency. And then part of me feels like they did that on purpose. I'm not saying
they probably did
that Cardi B did not deserve it.
She did.
Because she did express to the world that while she was pregnant, she went through several stints, no sleeping, just really putting all her energy into her music. So I get it. Whether, in my opinion, it's good or not, that doesn't matter. It's the work that she put in. She's deserving of it. But my thing is,
I think she's big time deserving.
But my thing is, did the Grammys do that on purpose by giving her the award and never giving? Because I don't think, without a shadow of a doubt, that Nicki Minaj, well, she was never pregnant, but so what? That doesn't mean she had many sleepless nights to get those albums done and to bring out quality work. You understand what I'm saying? So why would they not give it to this young lady after all the consistent albums that she brought out, all the multi-million-dollar sales that she's generated? Why would you never give it to her? And then you have another young lady. Yeah, she might have been grinding behind the scenes, but I'm talking about as far as being in the limelight, only had what? 2 albums? One album. One album.
Yeah, the rest of them were
singles. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. I would really want to know what was their hidden agenda, the Grammys.
It could have been a hidden agenda. Like, I don't know.
Decision.
I think, personally, I'm a Cardi fan. Not to say I'm not a Nicki fan, but I love Cardi. So I think her music is good. I think her grind is good, all that. But is it numbers? I mean, Cardi has done things that no other female has accomplished.
Gotcha.
Does that not deserve accolation?
I think it does deserve
It's to the point where you can't deny it.
Yes.
Got you.
So I kind of feel like, I don't know. Like,
It's her time.
I think she was very deserving. Very deserving of her Grammy.
It's her time. It's her time. Just like everybody is going to have that opportunity. Not everybody. I shouldn't say everyone. Most of us will have that opportunity to shine. And when you shine, you just go and you keep going until you can't
And that's
anymore.
the thing. I think she capitalized off her opportunity.
Exactly.
I think the thing with Cardi is whether you think she's good or whether you don't think she's good, what she's done and done well is she has taken whatever it is that she has and she has maximized it. And while everybody else is worried about this person or that person not minding their own craft, she has minded her craft, done the best that she could with it, and has maximized it. And to me, I love her. I love Cardi when she was on Instagram.
Yeah, I know.
Me,
Cardi
you
can't
too.
do no. Oh my god.
Cardi can't do no wrong to me.
Facts.
Yeah, from the very beginning. And I didn't. And it was nothing against her. I just didn't know her. Yeah. So but congratulations to Cardi B. I mean, really. Yeah, definitely. And I love her spirit.
Yes.
She is real.
100%.
The epitome of what real is. That's what she is.
And she's herself.
Yes.
And that's what I love.
Yes.
So that's what, I mean, hats off to her. And not many, there are a few, but she's a real one. And so congratulations.
Is. And then this is the last topic.
Yes.
Before we end off, this is what I'm going to talk about. Gucci's blackface sweater. We got to talk about this.
Yes.
What do we think about this? Like, what are we thinking about this? I think that when I first looked at it, I'm not gonna lie, granted, I'm only 23, so I wasn't around during that time. I know what blackface is, though. I did not get blackface vibes from the sweater when I first seen it. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's an ugly sweater. I wouldn't buy that. That was all I was thinking. Mm-hmm. But then, once people started saying it, I was like, oh, wow, that is a little crazy. But that was because other people pointed it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do we feel like we're overstepping and doing too much? Or do you think this is, we need to boycott it, we need to stop it?
I think we need, as black people, need to create a Gucci of our own. I think we need to build black business. I think we need to buy black. I think we need to suffocate the sales of these designers because ultimately, first of all, they're not the first.
No.
They will not be the last.
Nope.
They don't give a shit about us.
No.
So we need to operate in that same mode.
Agreed.
Why pay? A young man had put on Instagram, don't know who he is, but he purchased a Gucci t-shirt for $325 just to post it of him ripping it up. That $350 could have went to a black owned business. Period. So you could have put that money somewhere else, but you say you're proving a point, but it wasn't a wise point that you're proving because you just wasted money.
Exactly. And then 50 Cent burning up all of his Gucci clothes.
Exactly.
He got the money to buy it times 10.
But
still,
that it's not
wasting money.
Exactly.
Now, if I already got it, I'm not gonna not wear it because I paid for it.
Yes. Now, if you've already purchased it before the blackface shirt, then okay. If you choose not to wear it after that, but then to go out and purchase to prove a point is stupid. I think that we need to treat these niggas like they treat us.
Facts.
Buy black.
Bank black.
Build black. Build black empire. And just stick with us. Because we're strength in numbers. Black people shop. We buy.
Facts. Yep.
We are their consumer.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that their people don't do it as well. But we do it a lot more. So we just need to really just shift. And stop spending money to have them in these $1 billion homes, yachts, private jets, all that. Shut it down. Let them feel the strength.
Exactly.
Of when you fuck with us and we stop fucking with you.
Yeah, how it hits.
Exactly.
Period.
Hit them in their pockets. Nick, what you think?
Alright, so I think to me, I look at it kind of like, and I'm looking this up right now. So I look at it, it's a weird mentality, but I look at it like, PC versus Mac, alright? I know it's gonna sound real crazy.
No.
But just bear with me for a minute. So you got Steve Jobs on one side, and they both innovated, right? They both made a market space out of computers. And then you got Bill Gates on the other side. And I kind of I think black people, brown people, people of color should do things like Bill Gates did it. And so I don't think you want to do things like Mac did it because Mac had a marketplace.
Yes.
Mac was very singular though.
Yes.
Now we all love Apple now. But if you look at these two men and you look at their net worth and who died with what, so Steve Jobs, his net worth, I think when he died was around 10 billion. Listen, I ain't knocking no billions. If you got a billion,
yes.
I'm with you.
Yes. Yes.
But if you compare it to our counterpart, Bill Gates, 96 billion.
Yes.
That's a big difference. And see what I think.
I hear you. I see you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yes. I think you should buy black. I think you should do all of those things. But what Bill Gates did is he was good at owning something, but then also allowing it to be duplicated without losing ownership. Ooh. That is a big component that I think is being missed. Ooh. The problem of what Steve Jobs did, and that's why I think he went through so many struggles. Now he's still a successful man. Again, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
Is that he owned it, but he wanted to control it to the point to where he did an open market space. Here's the thing: an open market is always going to happen.
Yes.
You're not going to deny that.
Yeah.
People want to dance like black folks. People are going to want all the different things that come back to what you own. I'm not saying don't allow them to own it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying own it. Allow how the market space is going to grow. Allow it to grow to your own definition.
Got you.
And I think that's going to create more profitability.
Got you.
Profitability, and I think you just have to learn how to do that. So to me, I think it's really an issue of management.
Yeah.
It's really an issue of management. Manage what you have properly.
Yes.
So yes, definitely, I think buy black, do all that stuff, but be a cornerstone.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And allow things to be built out. Don't ever forget your cornerstone. Don't ever forget where that comes from. Yeah. But things are going to spread. Spread it in the way that you direct that path. Let it come back and feed home first. That's my personal opinion.
I agree.
And that's a great opinion.
100%.
Yeah. It's a great opinion.
I agree.
Great opinion.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah, that was good.
True. Oh my God, that was good. That was a good first episode.
I'm right now.
Yeah.
So we signing off, people?
Yes,
we're signing off. Again, thank you for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us. I am Tasha.
This your girl, Nikki.
And I'm Ashley. And we out.
Take care. God bless.